What up, wise guys? It's your wise girl Alicia, and today we're talking about goal setting. When people think about goals, they either think about or they think about
New year, new me, workout.
But for this lesson, we're kind of going to talk about both. Because for some people, their goal could be to get better at sports or to score more points. And for others, their goal could be to better themselves every year. But these goals are all valid because, just like everything else we've talked about in our lessons, goals are completely up to the individual. Now, the reason we talk about goal setting in Wise Guys is to encourage you to start thinking about what you would like to do in your future. What I mean is, learning how to set and track goals is a really good skill to learn how to develop. And not just with your career or education goals, but goals can be other things like goals around self-care or relationships, or anything that makes us feel proud about ourselves. When it comes to learning how to set goals, there's a handy little acronym, I feel like there's always acronyms for these things, to help us remember all the ingredients. SMART goals! So the S stands for specific.
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 This means that your goals, no matter how big or small, should be clear. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus your efforts or stay motivated. For this step, you could try answering questions like, what do I want to accomplish? Why is it important to me? Who is involved? Where is it located? And what resources are involved? The next letter is M. M stands for measurable.
Now yeast, 1 tisp. Tisp? 1 teaspoon. Oh, 1 teaspoon, of course.
It's important to have measurable goals so that you can track your progress. Helpful questions could be, how much, how many, and how do I know if I've accomplished it? The A stands for achievable. Now, I know a lot of us have big dreams about winning the lottery and buying fancy cars or traveling the world, but you actually have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. So for goal setting, it's important to be realistic about the things we want to accomplish. We could still want to get the fancy cars or travel the world, but maybe we don't have to win the lottery to do it. Absolutely, you should aim to stretch your abilities, but be sure to be realistic when you do it. The next letter is R. R means relevant. This means that you should make sure that your goals are relevant to you, that they mean something to you and aren't just expectations that other people are putting on you.
I don't care if anybody gets it, I'm going as the Doppler effect.
Because if they don't resonate with you, you won't feel connected to the goal and you're less likely to accomplish it. It also helps if your goals are related to each other. For example, if your goal is to work in construction someday, have you considered what future education you might need? Or what are some skills you can work on right now to help reach that goal? Or better yet, what are some jobs that you could have in school that will boost your resume to help you reach that goal? These are all great things to consider, but in the end, the goal is yours, and you can always change it or redirect it as you need to. Goals should be and are flexible because it's up to the individual. The final letter for SMART goals is T.
T.
T stands for time bound.
You've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
The best way to stay motivated for your goals is to have a deadline or a time frame. And sometimes it can be easier to break big picture goals down into smaller bite-sized pieces. This helps you maintain a timeline and a sense of urgency. Because without that sense of urgency, people tend to get lazy and say things like, I'll get to it later, and then later never comes.
You shall not pass!
So if we use our example about getting a construction job, think about how that goal could be broken down into smaller bite-sized pieces. Things like, what can I do 6 months from now? What can I do in 6 weeks from now? And what can I do today? Thinking like this will help keep you motivated regardless of what kind of goal you pursue. And just remember, when you set a goal, make sure that they're SMART.
S-M-R-T. S-M-A-R-T.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And like I said before, goals are not limited to just about your career or your education. Goals can range from anything from finishing a book or getting your homework done to even goals within relationships and friendships. When people start thinking about life plans, a lot of those tend to incorporate other people. And while each individual has their own ideas, sometimes it's important to collaborate with others and have those conversations. For example, some common conversations could be about owning a home with someone, getting married, or becoming a parent. When partners have conversations about short-term and long-term goals, this can be a chance to learn about each other and see what goals or aspirations you have in common and what your differences are. And if you have goals in common with someone, sometimes it can make it even easier to achieve those goals because you're both working on it and you help each other stay motivated. For example, like having a workout buddy or having someone with whom you're saving money to get a house. But it's also important to have conversations with partners, friends, or parents that might have different goals than you. If you want to do one thing, but your friend or partner wants to do something else or doesn't want to do that goal, it's important to respect each other's differences. This can be a little bit trickier when it comes to parents, especially if they have goals for you. But if you feel safe to do so, you can always have a calm and respectful conversation with them. You can talk about the goals that you have for yourself and work together with them to build a compromise. And while you're having those conversations with others, particularly your parents, you can always walk through the SMART technique. It'll help you stay focused and advocate for yourself. And just like in so many of our Wise Guys lessons, the key to goal setting is to determine your own aspirations and goals for yourself. And then if you talk about it with others, be sure to practice good communication skills by being clear and respectful. Not everyone has to agree on each other's goals, but it is important to be respectful of the other person. And so with that, I want you all to think about the things you want to accomplish in the short term and in the long term. Because our question of the day is, what is one goal that you have for the semester? By now you know the answers go down below. You are super close to the end of the series. There's only one more lesson after this, but there's 2 more videos. So if your goal was to finish the Wise Guys program, you're super close. You're really on track. All right, Wise Guys. See you in the next one. Wise Guys is a program of the Children's Home Society of North Carolina.